Hello and welcome to another episode of Low Tech Health. Let ourselves translate expert knowledge. Today is Meatless, Eatless, Mental Mushroom Monday. And this week we're counting down. That's all. Just counting down. It's 11 days to Christmas, and every day we're going to do a version of the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 anxiety reducing grounding technique in a way that will help hopefully describe what's happening inside of a hospital. I think we still lack the faculties, or might I say, the capacity to understand. Because we see numbers as humans and statistics, and we think, that's not me. I'm not a statistic. And when the numbers of deaths get so high, it just becomes kind of unreasonable, unmanageable. Our brain doesn't make sense of it. So it just kind of has to pretend it's not happening. But I would like to make sure that is not really allowed for you, because this is happening. And it's happening in private rooms with private health information to make sure that none of this death, depravity, decapacitation is not exposed, to make sure that it's private so no one else finds out what's happening and perhaps gets in the way of it happening to their loved one. Because if you saw how dark each time a vegetable is born, you might think twice and even gain a little insight as to why our ICU capacities are reaching full limits. Because 5 things. I'm in the bed looking around. Or no, I'll do what's best and easiest for me as a nurse walking into the room. 5 things I look for. So with this 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 grounding technique, it's supposed to help reduce anxiety and increase the efficiency of integration, which helps you deal with the stimulus and stimuli that's coming in to hopefully allow you to realize what you can do. Because anxiety comes from a bunch of stimulation, no integration as to what we can do, and then literally freezing, because there's nothing that can be done in a lot of things, like fractional reserve banking or HARP. As an individual, you can't do a whole lot about those right now, but we know about them. We know about more information than we ever have in this entire human existence, as far as we're aware of, and it's upsetting. It's anxiety provoking to know this much. We don't really need to. It doesn't make any difference in our daily life as to what HARP is doing or what the children in DACA are it's a DACA. See, there's just so many letters and so many things to keep up with. What is DACA? I gotta find out now. I'll probably shat the bed. DACA was something like children's something. What is it? Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. United States Immigration Policy. Gosh. Allows some individuals with unlawful presence in the United States after being brought to the country as children to receive a renewable 2-year period of deferred action. Ugh. Yes, we're still tribal in many ways, but the main one that I'd like to really stop is this idea that your own family tribe can decide what the science is in healthcare. You can't. You don't get to just say this is not the meal you ordered and send it back and buy another entree. We don't just make food. We take the ingredients you've brought with recipes that, yes, we have, but sometimes the ingredients you've brought from home will not make the meal that you think we can do. So, it's not our fault. You have not brought ingredients that can be made into the souffle that you think you want. Your family will pass. It's not going to change what you do. You are not doing everything. When you say, we want to do everything, you are not. Everything is searching your feelings and understanding that the ICUs are at capacity because of this thought that we should do everything. And now There are people who can't get their heart attacks treated. There's a man who had an obvious abdominal rupture and he needed to be transferred to another hospital. He couldn't. He coded and died right there at that little hospital before he could be transferred out to a facility that could handle it and fix him. Get him the product. Get him the meal with the ingredients he had because the recipe is there. But the recipe for fixing patients who become incapacitated is not involving a ventilator, is not involving long-term tube feeds. These are not fixes. These is another form of life. This is where I think you need to ask yourself, is the new normal what you want for your family? Is this new normal what you want? Because you are not doing everything